All right, section 1 of the book is called spelling. What does that mean? In this section, you're going to learn how to spell the 15 major scales, the 15 melodic minor scales, the 15 harmonic minor scales, the 7 modes of the major, the 7 modes of all the melodic minors, the 7 modes of all the harmonic minors. You're also going to learn to play the 7th chords that are nested inside each one of those modes. And you're going to learn how to play the 6th chords that are nested inside the major scales. You're also going to learn how to spell the symmetric scales, the half step, whole step, the whole step, half step, and the whole tone. And you're going to learn to spell the major pentatonics and minor pentatonic scales. Seems like a lot. That, if you just put that up on a blackboard, that's an awful lot of information. But the way you get to it that's manageable is like this. First, we're going to start with 7 notes. This is really difficult now. Get ready. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Now, once you learn that, we're going to put those around this clock, positioned like this. Now, between, you see that E and F and B and C, they're just a half step apart. The other ones, they're a whole step apart. And in between those notes, we're going to put the sharped or flatted notes that go in there, like this. Now, let me just do a quick aside here and say, if you're unfamiliar with intervals, when I'm talking about a whole step or a half step, or later on in this video, a major second, a minor second, major third, perfect fifth, whatever, I have a video on YouTube. If you go to Argentina Guitar and look at the video on intervals, there's a great explanation that will teach you all about the intervals. But back to this. If you look at that circle of notes with the, just like a clock with 12 markers on it, you can learn that, right? I mean, that's not too daunting, and many of you probably already know it. Now, what I'm going to do is show you how to take those notes and how to play, how to spell the 15 major scales. Now, if that seems daunting, think of it this way. The notes that we have are the musical alphabet, and we use those notes to spell scales, modes, and arpeggios. So if you were going to take a class and I told you that there was going to be a test, and on this test you're going to have to be able to spell 15 7-letter words, that's not too intimidating. You can do that. So just think of the major scales, the 15 major scales, as 15 7-letter words, but instead of letters we're using notes. Now I'm going to show you I could just give you these scales, and I do give them to you in the book. I'm going to show you how to play them here in just a second. But if you use the circle of fifths, and again, if you're unfamiliar with what a fifth is, look at my video on intervals. And we go around the circle of fifths, you'll see that there's a trick here. The C scale is spelled like this. The C has no sharps or flats. Now you move around clockwise to G, up a fifth. The G has 1 sharp, and it's the 7th note in the G scale. It's the F sharp. All right? Let's bring those notes down and go from D to D. Let's carry the F sharp down. Let's take the 7th note in the D major scale. That's a C sharp. We sharp that 7th note, so you have an F sharp and a C sharp in the D scale. We go up another fifth to A. We carry down the F sharp and the C sharp, and we sharp the 7th note in the A scale, which is G, which introduces the G sharp. And we do the same thing, carrying it down to E. We sharp that D sharp, carry it down to B, sharp the A sharp. You go to F sharp, same thing, C sharp. At this point, we've sharped all 7 notes. So there's no more possible keys to go to that are sharped. Now let's start back up at C again at the top. Let's go counterclockwise to the F. the F's going to have one flatted note. Which note will that be? It's going to be the B flat. And look at what note comes next on the circle of fifths. It's a B flat. That's your clue there. If we move to the key of B flat, we carry that B flat note with us, and we're going to add a second flatted note. It's going to be E flat, which, by the way, happens to be the next in line on the circle of fifths. We go down to the E flat, we add the A flat, and so forth around the scale until we get to C flat, where we have all 7 notes flatted, at which point there are no additional possible keys on the flatted side. So those are your 15 major keys. You have the C that has no sharps or flats. Then you have 7 additional keys that have sharps in them. Then you have 7 additional keys that have flats. Now at the bottom of the circle of fifths, you'll see an overlap of 3 tonal keys that these are called the enharmonic keys. One is spelled with sharps, one is spelled with flats, but if you played them on a piano or a guitar, they would sound the same. Okay, so on page 11 we covered the major scales and how to spell them and why there are 15. If you look at page 12, you're going to see 15 minor scales. Now, this is a natural minor scale. What is a natural minor scale? Well, if you took a C major scale that has 7 notes, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and you take that 6th note in the scale, A, and you play that scale from A to A. So you'd play that scale A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That is a natural minor scale, the A natural minor scale. If you're going to play the E natural minor scale, you'd find what major scale is E the 6th note of? That's the key of G major. So you take a G major scale, you play it from E to E. That'd be E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E. It's basically a G major scale, but you're playing it from E to E. That's the E natural minor. And the natural minor scales line up or relate to the major scales like this. If we were to put them inside the circle of fifths, they relate like this, and the same number of sharps and flats as their corresponding major scales. And you have the enharmonic minor scales as well, down those 3 at the bottom. But now, if you look on page 13, I'm going to explain the difference to you of the natural minor versus the melodic minor versus the harmonic minor. So let's take what we have on page 13 is the A natural minor, which is also the 6th mode of C. So later as we get into modes, you're going to learn this is also called the Aeolian mode, the A Aeolian mode, or natural minor. If you take that A natural minor and you sharp the 6th and the 7th notes of that A natural minor scale, what you come up with is the A melodic minor. So I'm going to play here an A natural minor. And now I'm going to sharp the 6th and 7th and make it an A melodic minor. So it's got that F sharp and G sharp in it. A, B, C, D, E. The 6th is sharped, F sharp. The 7th is sharp, G sharp. Then you got A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. Melodic minor. Now, if you take the melodic minor, or let's look at it this way. To build the A harmonic minor, you take the A natural minor and you just sharp the 7th note. So here we have again the A natural minor, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. If we sharp just the 7th note in that, the G sharp, you get an A harmonic minor. So that's the difference between the A natural minor, the A melodic minor, and the A harmonic minor.